Okay, so warm welcome once again also from my side. My name is Karima. I'm the URI Europe coordinator and I'm in Bonn, Germany. I'm really thrilled that we are having this webinar today, the role of music in harmonizing dialogue. And we are doing it as a collaboration between Baraza, which is a URI cooperation circle, with URI Great Lakes region and with URI Europe. So it's a cross-regional collaboration. Before we move into the program and explain briefly about each of our organizations, I'd like to invite you into a moment of silence. I think that we are all aware of the tragic happenings in Turkey and in Syria, where so many people are suffering, lives have been lost, people are trying to help and go to the exhaustion. And so I'd like to invite us all for just a moment of silence and holding everybody in love and light and healing prayer. These people affected by the earthquake and everybody affected around the world by calamity, war, etc. So just a moment, I'll bring us out of the silence again. Yeah, thank you for your positive energy, and may healing, peace prevail on earth, and may those affected find help and relief. Yeah, so warm welcome once again. I'll briefly give a brief introduction, just a very short 1 minute about URI in Europe or URI in general, and then I'll invite my colleagues from Baraza and from URI Great Lakes to do the same, and then we'll move into the program. We have an hour together, and we'll have 15-minute talk by our wonderful first speaker, Dr. René Hatter from the Royal Institute of Interfaith Studies in Amman and the Baraza advisor, and then Michael Boyondo, the founder and chairman of Faith Together Uganda. So to explain briefly for those of you who don't know URI is the United Religions Initiative, and it's the fastest growing global grassroots interfaith network around the world. Currently, there is over 1,000 member organizations in over 100 countries all across the globe. And if you are interested in this work and you are not there a member yet, but you like to join that network, the condition is for the member groups to have at least 7 people of 3 different religions or spiritual expressions or indigenous paths, and to support the URI Charter for Peace, Justice, and Healing. And URI has consultative status at the United Nations. So I want to keep it brief. In Europe, we have 62 member organizations. We are proud that Baraza is one of them. And in 18 countries, from Finland to Spain and from the UK to Tajikistan all the way. So that should suffice for now. And I'd hand it over to our colleague Catherine Thioun to just welcome you from Baraza's side and introduce that organization.
Hello, dear friends. It's my first URI webinar, so I'm very happy to see all of you. And my name is Catherine Thioun. I am the one of the vice president of Baraza, which is an independent, international, and non-profit organization. Let me introduce quickly Baraza. Baraza is a Swahili word meaning council or a meeting place. It is simply a place where people get together, like today, share news, ideas, and try together to solve common problems. It is in this spirit that Baraza was formed in 2017 in Munich, Germany. Baraza is dedicated to the global promotion of peaceful thinking, tolerance in areas of culture and religion, and understanding among nations. We believe in ideals of acceptance, understanding, and coexistence. Our work is expanding all the time. We have run several programs, including seminars, conferences, courses, and events. We were responsible for the concept, planning, and delivery of the exhibition Tolerance, Understanding, Coexistence, which is a Sultanate of Oman's message of Islam. Riaz, our Secretary General, will show you that we created a World Religious Religion Coloring book that you can show, that he is showing now. It's a book for kids, which is available in 16 languages and is available to download from our website, or hard copy if are available as well, if you wish to. We have another big project, which is a flagship life skill program called Unity. Unity is an exciting and inspiring scheme for young people. It builds self-confidence and provides an encounter-based learning environment to create citizens who are open-minded, skilled, and resilient to face some of the society's challenges. Children in Munich have already benefited from Unity, and we seek to extend this further. Today, we will be talking about the role of music in harmonizing dialogue. Although describing and creating music as dialogue may not be the usual way in the culture around us, alternatives exist, particularly including the use of dialogue in differentiated forms according to different musical goals as well. So we are very interested to listen to the experiences of our two specialists and all of you as well. And may I take the opportunity to thank all the partners, organizations, especially URI Europe and URI Africa, with whom we have worked to make today possible. And you can also follow on the Facebook and Instagram Baraza activities, and visit our website, www.baraza.ngo. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Catherine, for introducing Baraza and welcoming everybody. I'd like to give the word to Zaria then to do the same for URI Great Lakes. Welcome, Zaria. Zaria, unfortunately, we cannot hear you. Can you try to reconnect the speaker? Okay, let's try once again. Yes, I think it's working now.
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Sorry, network is an issue here sometimes. Yes, I would wish to welcome all the participants here. And as URI Great Lakes, we are happy to be part of this collaboration. We really appreciate the efforts that have been put together by URI Europe and also our side here, the Great Lakes region. And we hope some of our members will be joining shortly. We tried to invite them to ensure that they're part of this webinar, but some internet can be a challenge this side, really. It's a challenge to most of our members. So if you don't see many of them on board, please bear with us. Yeah. And URI Great Lakes, we have several member organizations. We have over 70 member organizations, and Faiths Together, that is going to be sharing us with us today, is just one of the members that we have. Yes, Michael has been part of URI for quite some time. He will let us know the details. And it's one of the really vibrant sisters that we have on board. They enjoy working with URI, and from his presentation, you realize that there are some engagements that he has been part of. He has been invited to internationally, and all courtesy of URI. So you get to know the details from him. But as URI Great Lakes, we are really happy to be part of this webinar in celebration of the Interfaith Harmony Week, which we have been engaging in different aspects. Yes, so this time around, we are happy to be part of this webinar, and we hope we shall get the best out of it. And personally, I'm looking forward to listening in to the other guest speaker that we have on board. And I hope we shall have very fruitful engagements and deliberations. Yes, I welcome everybody who is here.
Thank you, Zaria. So nice that you are here with us. So I think without further ado, we'll move the word to Renée, Dr. Renée Hattar. Leila will post her information in the chat, but as I mentioned, she's the director of the Royal Institute for Interfaith Studies in Amman in Jordan, and she is an advisor to the Baraza CC. So warm welcome, Renée, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be among you this evening. And before I start, I would like to invite you all to listen to a small fragment for 1 minute of this musical piece, and then I will start my presentation. Thank you. I think click below. Right, so today I'm going to speak about the role of music in harmonizing dialogue. And to do so, I will first start to speak about music, peace, and dialogue. Borrowing Small's explanation, Felicity Lawrence speaks of several relationships in connection with the musical act and suggests that when music is made, certain relationships are established and may occur during the performance. The nature of these relationships varies in its interpretation according to the imagination of participants. Such relationships might take place between person and person, between individual and society, between humanity and natural world, and even perhaps the supernatural world. This could be one of possible definitions of the act of musicking, which leads us to explore, affirm, and celebrate these relationships. Lawrence considers empathy to be an integral element of peace, and that both music and the act of musicking are possible means for accomplishing both an education and relationships of empathy. Today, I will speak about joint choirs in the Middle East. And what is special about these joint choirs is that they sing spiritual or religious music, and they use the Arabic language to express several ideas that we will explore today. In choirs, members have the opportunity to share feelings, ideas, experiences, and beauty through music. This happens through playing melodies in different musical scales and/or through singing together certain texts with content of specific messages. Expressing oneself, transmitting feelings, ideas, and thoughts in a new way that somehow speaks of a person leads to creativity. Nevertheless, in order for this creativity to be born, flourish, and continue in lives and performances of musicians, spaces of liberty are needed. Choirs can offer these free spaces of expression, and the decision of musicians to participate in such an experience is the first act of free will made by these people who dedicate themselves to a particular musical project. Creativity, both in the musical act as well as in the way of thinking of these musicians, thanks to all these qualities and influences that we just mentioned, produced by music, make these people aware of the possibilities of transforming reality. John Galton establishes a beautiful relationship between music and the work for peace, saying, "There also has to be an element of disharmony in harmony, of contradiction in the transformation of conflict. He perceives harmony as emotional resonance in suffering and fulfillment, and thinks that empathy is a basic approach to harmony, as well as seeing reality as seen by the other. Everyone seeks stability and balance, essential to maintain the functioning of our lives, preserving our identity and dignity. The balance can give us harmony, which is considered as the path for peace through cooperation. Cooperation and sharing allow certain reciprocity related to peaceful regulation of conflicts. Within a choir, in order to achieve musical harmony, members learn to listen, to respect differences, and to overcome inequalities of all kinds that are normally part of their cultural practices that exist in societies where the members of the choirs live or once lived. Through music, a constructive activity is realized through which a possible model of a non-violent society is prepared. Because these choirs from a small society, where musicians similar to the citizens in a society deal with members of the other group in conflict. In this case, members of another religion, and collaborate together within a peaceful space, the musical act, where they communicate and dialogue through a common interest, music. At a moment in the musical act, these members come into musical, personal, and internal harmony, expressing their feelings and thoughts with creativity, leaving aside violence and transforming their struggle into a constructive and non-violent one through music. Music, whether in its structure, melodies, or texts, can contribute to developing a culture of peace, through which information is conveyed, raising awareness among individuals and societies over important issues. So what is the connection between spiritual music choirs and what I just explained? As an example today, I will speak about different initiatives in the Middle East, applying music in general and religious or spiritual music in particular for dialogue among people of different religions that have taken place in different countries, and therefore the variation of religions are also as different. These initiatives vary between concerts, recordings, and establishing and funding joint choirs for religious Arabic music with both Christians, Muslim members, as I said, depending on the country, many of which resulted from the cooperation between governments, institutions, religious and civil active groups in these countries. Today's example is in honor for Syria, with a choir that started in Damascus. And so I chose the example today from that country. Our choir, of which we just listened to a very small fragment of a chant at the beginning of my presentation, is Al-Farah choir, or the Choir of Joy. This choir started in 1977 and was composed of 55 boys and girls from all Christian rites in Syria. The first Christmas recital they offered was a big success, to a point that the choir decided to open their doors to young men and women until the number of participants reached 450 chanters of all ages. In 1985, the choir knew the first change in its course when the director, Father Ilyas Dahlawi, and I hope he's listening now, I send him a big hello, met with the late singer Wadia Safi from Lebanon and collaborated together in composing religious Arabic music. Al-Safi and the choir started performing together in both Syria and Lebanon and gave their first joint concert in 1988 at the Church of Our Lady of Damascus. Where for
Rene,
Yes.
thank you very much for your talk. I wondered, we just see one slide. Do you know that? Is it intended?
It's not a problem. The other slides were just to indicate the presentation. Don't worry about it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, then maybe we can just spotlight you. Great, thank you.
Members of both religions, Christians and Muslims, attended a concert at the church listening to religious music that expressed love to one creator, Father of all. This experience was one of a kind at the time and received attention from many groups. It also received the attention of the media in Syria, and the concert was recorded and transmitted by the Syrian television on many occasions. Okay, tamam. This gave the chance, presented great coverage. Spiritual, religious chants were enjoyed by members of different religions, mainly Christians and Muslims. And as a result, people started listening to them in many places, not only in churches, but also in public areas such as restaurants, hotels, and even in public transportation. However, there was another opposite reaction to the experience expressed by other skeptic groups and members of both religions out of their fear of syncretism. This is a normal reaction in a place where religions not only indicate belief in God or a personal spiritual relationship, but also represent the identity of their followers and their existence within a multi-ethnic religious society. Other activities followed until another turn took place and the choir participated in a joint concert in 2001 at the patio of the Milkite Cathedral in Damascus, where the members performed with Muslim chanters of the Great Umayyad Mosque. The concert was organized under the patronage of both the Syrian Ministry of Antiquities and the churches of Damascus, and was attended by an important Western delegation presided by Khadir Solana. The objective of this choir at first was to participate in Mass with Byzantine hymns, just like any other church choir, but turned into chanting Arabic religious spiritual music that came out of the space of the church to share with others outside the church their joy, love, and music. Today, this choir still performs, and I know it's a very difficult moment for Syria, for anybody who lives there, not only because of the war, but also today because of the earthquake. So we send them all our love from Jordan and all the countries, all the participants listening to us today, and all our best wishes. So choirs of religious or spiritual music are supposed to help people to pray. And in this case, the choir gave them feelings of joy, love, and empathy that the participants wanted to transmit to others outside the church. Whether in a time of conflict or of peace, these choirs felt they could serve their societies by conveying a message of love and therefore make a difference in breaking the cycle of violence. Such choirs insist in having many points in common with members from other religions, mainly Muslims, living in the same Arab society where they share the same Arab culture and language. They make a difference by creating a sharing new creative space that allows for dialogue, common projects, and mutual understanding through music and beauty. Music as a social communicative act facilitates creating open spaces for mediation. Reconciliation can take place between groups and communities and can spread to countries. In this case, concerts and different performances given by such choirs serve as mediating spaces that strengthen exchange and interaction among the musicians themselves, as well as among individuals or groups in a society. Musical exchange helps people and groups within a society to live and develop relationships of friendship, empathy, solidarity, and sensibility which could have great impact on both human and social relations. Music can educate us in both self-respect as well as respect for the other, solidarity, teamwork, communication, and dialogue. Similarly, music facilitates intergenerational and intercultural communication, allowing us to evaluate several aspects of our lives, teaching us to learn from our mistakes in the past and to consider not repeating them in the future. In conclusion, music could be used as a creative method for peace building or for preventing violence. Joint choirs of spiritual music have an objective to participate in preventing conflicts and violence and promote peace and non-violence through their message of love, forgiveness, and solidarity, reminding people of the true essence and merciful message of religions, divine love. On the one hand, we cannot try to regulate the conflictive side of each person, simply because conflicts have always existed in human life of all these actors who take part in the musical and non-violent experience. The aim, however, is to find these specific moments, to admit them, and to take a step in an unfinished process, in progress, in search of the truth. On the other hand, the effect that music leaves in us is so powerful that it leaves a desire in us to want to remember this experience of great beauty, love, and closeness that one feels inside with the other and probably with God. Feelings of solidarity, brotherhood, nearness, peace, and love encourage us to share them, because when they are shared, real happiness and pleasure are felt in a way that changes our way of thinking and how we see the world. We could then feel capable and sure of being able to change situations with optimism, because we know across the musical Pacific experience that peace exists. It is real and reachable. Finally, music is an instrument that could serve as a bridge of communication between people, since it contains messages elaborated in a language of peace, facilitating mutual understanding, while forcing us at the same time, because of its nature, to listen to each other in order to communicate, dialogue, and come into harmony. Religion is part of the conflict in many areas, and is also part of the instrument, because music is religious in this case, and would help us prevent the conflict or resolve it. Through music, religious music specifically, dialogue is an act established across music, as well as positive result of our unfinished process, where music and religion act. Finally, peace is the main objective and final result, as well as being a primordial component of music, religion, and dialogue. Peace is the path which appears and accompanies us through the whole process, while being a part of music, a part of religion, and a part of dialogue. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Renee Attar, and for giving the example of the Farah choir in Syria. I think is something that not many people will know about. And maybe to tell that Dr. Renee is also an amazing singer, so it would be wonderful to go into some singing together. And I could see what you were talking about when we were at the Baraza conference organized in Oman, when there was a spontaneous singing circle where we then suddenly had Christian chants from the Middle East and from elsewhere. And one of the famous Islamic singers from the country Oman was starting to sing, and guests from Macedonia, etc. So you could feel that dialogue and rapprochement in practice. So I hope another time we'll have a chance to have that experience together.
Thank you.
So it's time for our second speaker, and I'm thrilled to invite Michael Buyundo. Please introduce yourself, and Leila will also send your biographic information in the chat, and it's wonderful you are joining us. So we have another example of music in dialogue from Uganda. Warm welcome, Michael.
Oh, thank you. My name is Michael Buyundo. Let me hope I'm clear. Is everyone hearing me?
We can hear you clear. There is a little bit of background noise, but we can hear you well, I think, well enough to understand everything. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, because the noise is I'm in a center where we do lots of practice, drums, So they are in around 100 meters. That's where the sound is coming from.
Yeah, but we can hear you very well. Just go
Okay,
ahead.
that's nice. That's nice. Michael Biondo is my name. I'm from Uganda. Director and founder, Faiths Together Uganda. I love peace. I've been a member of URI for quite some years. And in this role of music in harmonizing dialogue, I think this is a great thing to talk about in this Harmon Week. Yeah, because it's usually in the first week of February. And this is nice. I think it's now in the second, but it's still fine. It's in Faiths Together that we came up with this idea of the peace drums that we have been moving all over the world to show how music can help in bringing peace in the world. I would say the critical thing in sounding music in any form is to pass on a message.
Excuse me to interrupt you. I don't know how it's for others, but now your picture is upside down. You are sideways, so I think maybe you turned your screen, so it's better to turn it back, I think, and then we see you the right top.
Sorry.
Great, it's better like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't notice that. Yeah. Yeah, and what I was saying is to the critical thing in sounding music. Just a moment. It is a bit shaky, but it's fine. I'm trying to. Okay, let me hold it. Using the key pre-selected words that is in music, the words that we use in music, to the listener. Each word played in the sound may communicate peace, love, happiness, sometimes sorrow or distraction. Yeah. It is common practice to use music to call for attention, for parties, in kickstarting conversations, or in dialogue to address existing or future challenges. Yeah. By sounding potential maybe conversations in our communities. The peace drums is an initiative that we use to help us in reforming societies by enabling dialogue among the disgruntled members to reform and to generate harmonious sounds. That in a reminder to all to play their role in promoting peace. The idea of the peace drums started in 2014 when we reflected on activities that happened in our country where we had cases that were victims of riots when the king of one of the tribes was stopped from visiting one of his regions by the central government, because we have two different governments. We have central government and then hello. Okay. We have the central government and then the kingdoms that also have semi-autonomous, way of doing administration. So the king was stopped by the central government from visiting, and then people of this particular tribe, basically the Bagandas, had to show their dissatisfaction in that it was wrong to stop their king from visiting. Then Vehicles used to be stopped, and people of different tribes were picked out, and some were lynched, you know. And when that happened, then I thought it was a wise thing to come up with an idea that can help bring people together. And this is when we came up with the idea of the peace drums. And the peace drums, we had to first start with a culture troupe which plays music, where we got young people from different tribes to come together to play music, to practice music by using drums and musical instruments. Then as we kept going, we then thought it would be an idea to have some of these drums used as a tool of communication, as in to bring people together. And when these people come together, we talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about harmony, and we talk about those things that unite us as a people than the things that divide us. We use the same drums to gather people, to have them learn and to understand how to respect differences. Because these drums were sounded by people, by young people of different tribes, of different religions, but communicating the same message. And that was the message of love. Yes. And when we did that, I'm proud to say that we were awarded in 2014 a bronze medal and crowned one of the champions of the World Interfaith Harmony Week. Yeah. We were in Amman in Jordan, where the ceremony was. Rennie, we were in your country. We were there. And we still got to learn, or we get to learn that music helps in identity. Like in the place where I come from, here in Uganda, every culture has music in their forms of when they're practicing their rituals, they use music to let's say if there is a fight and the two parties have failed to come together, usually music is brought on board, you know. And still, every tribe identifies with a particular musical instrument, with a particular dance. And this is how I managed to use different young people of different tribes to come together to form this culture troupe that we're using to move around to help bring peace around, you know. It is also a tool that is used in dialogue, you know, because you can communicate with drums still, and then you get to understand each other. Yes. We have also been privileged to have our peace drums perform. We have our peace drums performed at the Parliament of World Religions, that is in Utah, in 2015, where we demonstrated how we use music as a tool in that regards. And we are also proud to say that we will be presenting a program of the same, the peace drums, in the coming Parliament of World Religions, that is in August, in Chicago. Yeah, that's what I have to share with the rest. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Michael. It's amazing to learn about your work in Uganda, how you're bringing young people together from different ethnicities and different backgrounds through the music. And as you were mentioning the parliament, first of all, it's amazing that you were awarded the World Interfaith Harmony Week prize, as we are celebrating World Interfaith Harmony Week here, and we have Dr. Rene with us from Jordan. So that's also wonderful, really, to have that together here. I think we have some time. We started a little bit later, so I invite all of you to ask any questions to our two speakers. We just touched the surface, so feel free to have a family conversation, ask questions, or I'm sure that some of you might also have your own examples of how you use it, music and interfaith or in other ways of dialogue and peace work. So that's also a possibility. Feel free also to share that. And yeah, it's rich. I feel it's really rich to have this collaboration here. Here we have Michael from Uganda, and we have Dr. Hattar from Jordan, but also we have the continents, different Europe. And so that's wonderful. Elizabeth.
Thank you very much. I just wrote in the chat that I listened to Michael in Salt Lake City, and it was really a very great performance they gave there at the parliament. About music and religion, I studied with Kadir Ducek. He is now, you know him? Okay. He is a friend of mine. And so I know the worth of music for people and for the health, and therefore we plan since this month to get music instruments for the children in the camps in Syria. But I think now, after the destruction and all this problems they have, it is much more important to look that they can have that they can get music lessons and learn to that their feelings can be spoken with a guitar or with a oud, and so, and that's one of my great aims, to help the children and the people in Syria also with music. With food, of course, it's important, but for the soul, music is much more important. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And for those of you who don't know Elizabeth, she's doing some amazing work. Her cooperation circle have adopted first one and then several refugee camps in northern Syria. And right now they're doing also relief work for the children and families there. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. And indeed, Kadir Tucek, I know him. They are doing old Oriental music therapy, yes. And it shows very well when you listen to these people play, how it has an effect on the soul, and on you feel quiet, or different keys have different effects on people and on the soul. Yeah. Alice, warm welcome, Alice.
Thank you so much. Greetings, everybody. My name is Alice, and I am in the US, in California. And I want to thank both of our presenters. So interesting. I love music, and you both have said things that make me reflect on music in different ways. So thank you very much. And Michael, I would like to ask you if you could give us an example of people communicating through drums. Can you help me understand how that works a little bit, please? You're on mute, Michael.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much in that. Communicating using the drum. Actually, right now, I have a team in a distance that is practicing how to communicating using a drum. And this is what one of the items that we will present at the Parliament in August. For example, there are 3 people representing, one person represents a particular community. The second will be the mediator, and then the third is another community. So it will be like this. They will first play the drums. Each will play their own sound, showing that they are not working together, that they are at loggerheads, that they are fighting. Yes. Then this mediator comes in. The mediator plays his sound to bring these 2 people together. And one of the people will play the sound of the mediator. The other person will still play their sound, showing that, no, I'm not coming together. I'm not, I'm not in this dialogue. I'm not in this thing of making peace. Then the third person, the mediator, keeps playing and persuading the other one to come and play the same rhythm. Then eventually, when the 2 parties make peace, then they all play one sound. So I think what we'll be showing, or what we are trying to build, is to show how you can use drums or music to make peace. At the end of the piece, they will all play the same sound. And what they play, we'll call that the sound of peace for the 2 parties. Yeah.
And can I just ask, just quickly, does each party decide when they want to, how long to play for? Does each party decide when they are ready to play the sound of the theater?
Actually, all the parties play the sound at the same time because they don't want to make peace. They keep disorganizing the other. Then the third person comes as a mediator. He looks at them, then plays something and persuades this one to play what she's playing. Then the second person plays what she's playing. The other one refuses. But then as they keep playing, they all adopt one sound. Meaning she has succeeded in making peace, in bringing them together to make peace. Then they now play one sound, and that is the sound of peace.
Thank you.
To the 2 parties. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Lovely. Angelina.
Thank you, Karima. I'm Angelina. I'm URI Europe liaison officer, and also I'm representing one of the European CC called Bridges. First of all, I would like to congratulate you both, dear Dr. René and dear Michael, for your wonderful presentation. I would like to hear more practical dialogue, music dialogue, because I love to practice dialogue through art, music, painting, and other forms of art, because I believe strongly that art is very powerful and very strong tool for making dialogue, interfaith and intercultural dialogue. Yesterday, we just had our World Interfaith Harmony Week here in Bulgaria, called Palette of Peace, where our youth group representing different religious group sing together in the Roman Catholic Cathedral, and it was really amazing. And this strong message for peace and solidarity with our dear friends from Turkey and Syria was very well accepted. So I really appreciate the music as a message of love, peace, solidarity, and empathy. And I would like to congratulate you once again for your amazing and beautiful work. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina, and congratulations on that yet another beautiful concert, which it must have been. Maybe I also raise my hand because now you inspired me to talk about how we use music on our local CCs. We do it, in fact, also. And for example, when we met for an interfaith conference, which we have annually, so then often we have the religious services of one group and invite the others in. So usually there would be a, let's say, a Christian service, which is an ecumenical service, and there is songs from a Christian side, but the Christians would also invite, and this need to grow, and everybody can participate as much as they want or not. But they also invite then the Muslim people who are there to also contribute, like the guests give a present into the service, and that would be a Muslim song. And on the other hand, we have a Muslim Sufi dhikr, which is recitations, is a chanting, and there would be Muslim songs and recitations, and always invited are the guests who come to also give their present. So it could be from different traditions, could be Turkish, Arabic, and then could be Christian songs, be it from Catholic tradition or from Protestant tradition and Jewish songs. So that also is like enjoying each other's gifts and also hearing each other's sounds. That already is interesting, and it makes one curious. And sometimes on the first evening we have something which we call dialogue cantata, and so it's okay, we invite the Christians to sing a song and then the Muslims to sing a song and the others to listen, and in the end there is a general song, like evening song sung all together, and that's a nice start to start an event in an evening. So that's a little bit my experience to share. Yeah. Do we have other people? I think we could go over time a little bit as we started a little bit later.
Yes, how do I do this? Oh, yes.
Go.
Yes. Well, I'm a bit jealous of all you people who have these wonderful musical events. It was nice to hear behind Michael the wind going through the bamboo, and also some birds. And perhaps we should be humble in saying nature teaches us music, and let's listen better for their music. Now, Renee, I'd like to ask the following. You had a small piece of music and there was an image there. And I wonder, is this image seemed to me directly Mary? Because Mary is a person who brings people together, because she's in Bible and Quran beautiful stories about her. And of course, the mother figure is dear to everybody. So we call our anthology of Bible and Quran verses, we call it Sharing Mary, because sharing Mary is very important. And there's a lot of music about Mary. But I'm just curious, was it Mary or just a lady?
Thank you. It was Mary. It's one of the nice chants that the choir sang together. And as you said, Mary is one of the joint themes in all dialogues, especially the musical dialogues. She's one of the main saints or holy persons in both religions. And as a mother in our culture, she's very cherished. So yeah, the Marian chants, as we call them, are among the groups where dialogue is at its best between the two choirs.
Thank you.
Lovely. And it brings also in the female voice. There is also that conversation between the different voices. We have a question in the chat from Noor. And it's Noor, do you like to speak it, or otherwise I can read it? It's hello. So
hello,
yeah.
hello.
Okay.
I will try to
welcome.
this. First of all, I'm Noor Hattar. I prefer to let you read it, please, because I'm driving now, so it's a little bit hard on me.
Okay.
If it's good, thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. Nice having you with us. Can music in the future, can it treat the world, not just illnesses and traumas, like arts therapy, and as such reduce terrorism and aggression?
Is it clear?
That sounds clear. Yeah, who likes to respond to that? Maybe both of you.
Start if you like. I was talking about using music as a tool for peace building and nonviolence in order to prevent conflicts. The usages of music, of course, if you study the science of music and peace, are so many, among music therapy, illnesses, even all kinds of illnesses, not just through the body, but also through the soul. They're used in so many ways. So in conflict resolution and conflict prevention, it's one of the tools that I was actually speaking about. So yes, to me, of course, music is the future. If you're talking about a non-violent, peaceful tool for peace building, in the sense that I explained, of course, because you cannot resolve a conflict. To me, in my opinion, it's the hardest part of conflicts. To me, preventing the conflict is much, much easier, through spreading a culture of peace and love of the other, acceptance, respect. That's how we don't get to a point where we have to go through the conflict in order to resolve it, but to prevent it from happening.
That's fine. Shukran, Doctora. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael, do you also like to say a few words?
Yes. I think music in time will penetrate the world and turntables. Because to me, music is love, you know, because music goes to the deepest part of the soul. You know? Music unites people. You don't need to know the words that someone is singing. You don't need to know the sounds that someone is hitting, but you just listen. And the soul listens and takes in that, and you find peace in that. I think music will, I think music will be used to penetrate. Maybe if you can just listen for a few seconds, then I have a young man here can play a small piece very slowly. You don't know the culture, but you will feel it. Okay? Slowly. Hold on. I think that is what I'm talking about. You don't know the culture, you don't know the sound, but you take it in your soul. It goes to the deepest part of the soul. So music can be used to penetrate the world and bring peace. Yeah. Thank you.
Lovely. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Dr. Rene. So I think we could take one more and then we'd close, and for sure that much more to say. So there is applause and hearts. I see many hearts. So definitely you are touching our hearts, and yeah, we are in this strange cyberspace together and listening to the same music, and our soul are being touched. That's also a way to connect on a deep level, as you say. Yeah, so I think it's on me to thank again our wonderful speakers, Dr. Rene Hattar and Michael Boyondo, and to thank all of you for making the time to be here and to listen and to bring yourselves and your questions and your comments here. So thank you for that a lot. We have a little question for you. To hear from everybody, also from those who haven't spoken. So we have a little poll for you, which is very quick to do, because we'd like to know what you found beneficial in this webinar. This will help us also for the future to see what is important for you. So I'll start this poll, and please complete it. It's about crossing, ticking boxes. That's the easy one. You can scroll down. And there is 2 questions. Did you benefit from the webinar? And you could tick several boxes. And the second one, how will you use it in your work? And I think I can also show results. It's so yeah, probably now you could see how people respond, right? So nobody has responded yet.
Where do we find the poll, Karima?
Do you see it? It should
I don't-
appear on your screen.
Oh, I'll look some more.
Let me do it again. Okay, here we go. Can you see it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we'll have a chant with it, with this poll. Mm. And I think probably on a mobile it's difficult to find. Can you see it? Maybe if it's difficult, because I don't see that people participate. So there might be something hindering you. So maybe if you write it in the chat, that would also be lovely.
We are receiving responses, Karima.
Okay, great. That's so strange. As the one who started, one doesn't see it. So maybe Leila, you can take a screenshot so that later we can have a look. So thank you for everybody. Here for me, it says 0 people have participated. So thank you for all of you who did in fact participated.
Okay. Yeah, 70% of you participate. So yeah, we are waiting a few more and that's it. And of course, you can always use chat option to add some more information if you would like.
Great. Okay, so then I'll end that poll. Thank you for helping and making it clear, Leila. So here it goes. Just stop the chat, and you can always write in the chat any feedback that you like. I just wanted to make it simple with a poll. Before closing, I'd like to share a few the next events. Maybe some of you will be interested. Warm welcome and hearty invite. So this Thursday, the 16th of February, we'll have a community call for URI. This is to be together, and just because of the calamities and the earthquake in Syria and Turkey, we said let's bring the community together to share and be there for each other and hear a little bit from people how they are affected or what kind of help is being done. So this is on this Thursday, and it's at 3:30 Central European time, so 1.5 hours later than today. Next week, we are still in World Interfaith Harmony Week celebration. It's actually World Interfaith Harmony Month for us. So we have next Tuesday, the next webinar together with Baraza and URI Great Lakes region. And that will be building a culture of peace partnerships to support UNESCO's mission. And we'll have amazing speakers to talk about that. And then on next Thursday, there will be another opportunity, and that's in collaboration with Lauren van Hem from URI Global part, the coordinator for climate action. And she and the partner will introduce a handbook, a guidebook about values, culture, and spirituality, restoring ecosystems. So it's a handbook on ecosystems restoration. So if you're interested in that, that will be next Thursday, February 23. And 3 hours later than today. So feel free to write to us at any time, URIEurope@gmail.org, URIEurope@gmail.org, or write to Leila or Angelina or myself or URI Global. And Riaz, of course, our wonderful partners. Thank you once again to Katarine Thion for sharing us, for Zaria, being a partner. Despina has joined us. She's regional coordinator from the Great Lakes region. And thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. And wonderful to be connected and soul connected through music. So hope to see you again. All the very best. Nice to meet you.